So where we were is this is the start of the day before the new moon. So tonight, the night of the day that you guys are in, it will be the new moon, which you've heard much stories about, necessarily being a bad thing. You've all gotten 2 days worth of rations from the town. Remember, you did the exchange with the cauldron that could generate food. They gave you some of the food they had on hand, which turns out to not be very much. But that kind of makes sense because this town sacrifices warmth, not food, when it comes time for the new moon.
Mhm.
But I started us out here because when we ended Guardian, you said you wanted to do something specifically in Goodmead before you get out of there.
Yeah, well, oh god, I think I kind of forgot what it was. I just wanted to make sure though that everyone in the town is aware of the cauldron and the fact that it's meant to be for everyone's use. Like they just go to the meat hall and get the food there and everything like that. Town is aware of that.
I think everyone would have been aware, and also that would have prompted them to give you their surplus food that they had on hand, knowing
Yeah.
that the cauldron would have taken care of them.
Um. Oh right. I need to get myself that mini anvil. So I'm gonna visit that nice little dwarf in that temple.
Torga,
Yeah.
I can't. Let me see if I can find how much we decided. Do you remember offhand how much we decided that was going to cost?
She was like 30 gold.
Yeah, I think she was pretty steep on her prices. Okay, we'll just say you've had plenty of time to arrange that with her. Her caravan is still there. They're going to shelter at Goodmead until after the new moon, so they haven't gone anywhere.
I'll try and whittle that price down a bit. As a speaker and all that.
So what you guys have is you do have the map that Torga made for you. Her recollection on how to get to the king's treasury inside of Battlehammer Hold. It's her memory, and the map is it's kind of loose. And I got that in the notes under player handouts. You should see something that says Torga's map to the treasure room. You can see it's a fairly loose rendering of her what she can remember on how to get there.
Okay.
Valen says to you that she is actually going to stay here in Goodmead, that she would just slow you down. But she thinks that you have everything that you need.
Just looks at her for a second and looks to Ollie. Looks back at her. Back to Ollie.
Ollie continues her stare, just blinks her ginormous owl eyes.
Well, fine. She stomps off to the church.
If we need help, I think I know how I might be able to get in contact with you. So, um, hopefully we won't run into too much trouble while we're there. But if there's anything that you need us to do while we were at Battlehammer Hold, um, let me know before we go.
I need you to find the map if you can to the elven city of Yithrin. We've heard many stories about how dangerous this place could be, so I would suggest you don't spend any more time there than is absolutely necessary.
I think that's reasonable.
From everything that we've been told, that place is a tomb. You want to make sure that that's not going to become your tomb as well.
I don't think that will be a problem. It's not like it's full of golden treasure, right?
Well, every dwarven city I've ever heard of has significant amounts of treasure. Of course, in this city, it's probably cursed, and she takes a look at Virion. I know that hasn't dissuaded you in the past, but I would stay away from trying to loot this city if it were me.
A fair warning.
I think if we try to take anything, it'll just get in our way of getting in and out with the map.
I would recommend stealth if you can.
There's sure to still be something down there.
And we'll actually have Torga meet you outside of the church, Guardian.
Hello, Targa.
Hello. What do you need?
That anvil, that small one.
Oh yes, I believe we agreed on 30 gold.
Yeah, can we do something about that? That
I will do an
seems steep.
installment plan. Let's say you give me, let's do a 10 gold, 10 gold now and 25 gold later.
That just seems rude. You know what? I might as Thank you. Have fun. Staying safe inside this church for free. Come on, guys, let's go. A question for you, Jim. Is there like a little send off? Like, is the town like setting off their speaker? Are they there to like wish him well?
I don't think so because it's the day of the new moon. What everyone is doing is getting prepared. So you see everyone, they're boarding up their windows. They're like taking blankets and padding their doors and stuff. They're trying to, because on the new moon, what this town does is they don't create any kind of warmth. So they don't light fires. They don't do anything. They turn all of their lights off and all of that. So they basically try to not freeze tonight. So they're getting prepared for that in every way they can.
It is night, right?
It's technically in the morning of that day.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So it's the dim light of the sunrise. It's going to be dark in a couple of hours, but still only midday.
I'm gonna poke my head into the meat hall. Zach,
And Zach says, "Yes, friend."
question. This is gonna seem silly, new to all of this. Are people just staying in their homes to stay warm? So, like, just one house, for example, is just two people trying to stay warm? Is that
Well,
what they're doing?
what we do is we have several people that will stay in the meat hall to protect the bees, of course, but most people stay in their homes where it's safer and, well, our bodies can generate more warmth.
But wouldn't you make more warmth if you all gathered in one area? Like, I'm just wondering why keeping yourself separated. Like, if all of the people stuck in here for the night, that's a lot of heat.
Well, frankly speaker, sometimes on the night of the new moon, creatures come into the town and break into homes, and, well, it's a lot to ask people to abandon their homes. Some people want to stay and defend them if anything happens.
Abandon their homes, have someone break in, or be eaten by the thing that breaks into their home. He just like waves his hands up and down. I'm going to start trying to fix things when I get back. Just keep everyone safe as you can. Now, she's staying behind. Vel, that's her name now.
Well, she's very welcome. We have a nice spot by the bees.
And they're still getting their heat, right? Because they're bees, they don't have to sacrifice anything.
Well,
You
we're
just won't
going to
get
do
the
our
combo.
best to keep them alive, of course. We have always lost some every month, but we have a good plan this month. I hope that we'll be able to save more than usual.
You have my permission as speaker to do whatever you deem reasonable to keep them safe, aside from blood sacrifice. He'll
Yes,
just like maintain that awkward silence for a moment.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, speaker. We will do our best. Like I said, that we have some new techniques to try to keep the meat hall warm for the bees, and I'm very confident that that we will make it through tonight with no fatalities.
Good. And if need be, send someone up to the cave there with the Verbeegan friend. See if they would like to patrol the area.
I'll see if Thief would mind doing that. Most of us are pretty scared of that cave.
No. His name is Doug, and the ogre is Friend. They are both friendly.
Well, that should be easy to remember.
Hmm. There is a bear in there. Don't piss him off. Don't go in his cave. He has a separate cave farther in. Doug will know where to go.
Sounds like a fun place.
Yeah. But see if Thief can ask them nicely if they want to help out, and after the night, if everything's good, I don't know, toss them some food. You got the pot, so.
Yes, I'll make an effort to get something out there to them. We have a lot going on today in the town, but I think I can convince Thief to go up there and perhaps find some bravery and explore that cave.
Just have her call out Doug. She is friend of Guardian and friend of Rogar. Yes.
And he kind of leans in. Between you and me, Speaker, your friend Wargard, he doesn't look well.
Oh, he looks like absolute shit.
In fact, your other friend, and he looks to Varian, he also doesn't look well. Are you all healthy?
Well, I'm fine. Those two are idiots.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Well, good luck on your journey, Speaker, and to the rest of your companions. If there's anything else we can do, please let us know, and we wish you safe travels.
Oh, yes. While we're away, you might want to conduct interviews for us to get replacements. And he laughs, lightly.
Oh boy, replacements, huh? And he goes back into the meat hall.
Alright, Val, you got a spot in the meat hall with the bees.
Great. That won't make it difficult to fall asleep at all.
Do we know where Suzanne is?
You actually haven't seen Suzanne since you entered Goodmead. Issa saw her last.
Garns is gonna lean back and he is just gonna bellow out Suzanne as loud as he can.
And Villain says, it may be a good thing that your dragon isn't near the town on the night of the new moon. She's kind of destroyed one town already.
Well, we're losing moonlight. We better best get going.
And Villain says, I believe you probably have about 10 hours until the moon rises and things get a little crazy. Whatever you do, you probably don't want to be out in the open during that time.
Alright, well, let's get going.
And Villain
Let's
says,
go.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, let's go.
So showing you all the map, I just kind of want to give you an idea of where you're headed to. Slowly loading for me. There it goes.
Oh, right, I remember what it was I wanted to do. It involved Susan, actually.
That is where you are at Goodmead.
Alright, cool.
You are traveling somewhere about there. So a little southeast of Lonelywood, but pretty much due north from Goodmead almost.
We have to go a little bit near East Haven.
Closer to East Haven, but you don't have to really go that way. You can almost go straight north.
Yeah.
You've kind of crossed these plains before when you went from Lonelywood to East Haven, but you're going more north now into the valley. And you do have a map that, of course, Torga made for you to directions to get there.
Alright, cool.
Before we get started, anything left to do in Goodmead?
Not in Goodmean itself. As more with to do with Suzanne when we see her again.
I have one thing I will do. Just before we start leaving, Rorgar will put a hand on Virian's back and say, "Friend, I know you're very tired, but I hope this will help you in today's journey." And I will cast Cure Wounds at first level.
Oh yeah, you're so cool.
I'll take it. Virion will kind of perk up a little bit and put his hand over top of Rorgar's and just say, "Thank you. That's much appreciated. I'm not entirely sure what's happening to my body, but I feel like death."
And that would be 10 points of healing.
That gets me pretty close to full health.
Friend, I am not sure what happened to me either. Maybe we are just cursed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
As if curses are real, right?
Could you imagine?
And then as Rorgar starts walking away, you could see he's trying to work out the sore arm again that has been bugging him since the ghost aged him.
Varian, if you could give me a survival check, and you will have
that's-
advantage using the map that Laja has to help you get to where you're going. So 15. Okay.
I was just going like, I assist to give him advantage, but nope.
So we have a montage of the four of you traveling through the snow, and as you reach the outskirts of Goodmead, you look to where you last saw Suzanne, and you remember she was hanging out with these outside of town, and you don't see Suzanne. And in fact, you're calling out Guardian, you don't hear anything back from her. Don't see anything in the sky, of course, but as always, visibility is reduced because of the low light and also because of the constant snow.
I think she's dead. Oh well, carry on.
I mean, the last time that she wandered away, she managed to find us again. Perhaps that will happen again.
Yeah, last time she wandered away too, I said the same thing and she showed up, so.
She's probably smarter than we give her credit for.
He looks to Virian and Rogar like, yeah, she is definitely smarter.
But we have a montage of the four of you continuing to travel through the snow, making your way across the plains. You pretty much go in single file, I imagine, probably behind Guardian. Even though you have your snowshoes, it's easier to let him just clear you all a path, and you walk through it, continuing north. The hours go by, and the few hours of daylight that you have quickly fade away, and it's just mostly black again, as it is normally traveling through Icewind Dale, and visibility drops even further. It's still cold, but it's not quite as snowy or stormy as it's been in the past, and visibility is a little better. And you continue on this way. I'm going to put you guys in a little row here. You continue on this way for a good part of the day. And I'd say you estimate you're probably about 2 hours away from the Dwarven Valley where you believe Battlehammer Hold is. When Guardian, you at the front, can make out what looks like a caravan of perhaps 30 people, and it looks like they're heading south, so your paths may cross. At this distance, it's hard to make out exactly what the forms are, but you know that your paths will cross quickly, and they don't seem to be changing their direction. Like, you don't have any indication that they've seen you yet, but they are humanoid. That's all you can determine from this distance.
Hold up, we got a little troop of people moving around ahead of us. I don't like the size and I don't like our numbers. But they should have seen me at least. He just turned and looked back at everyone. Like, let's make new friends. Don't try to kill anyone.
I'm not sure what he means when he says that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I
Is he
don't
looking
know
at
why
us?
I'm saying this. Yeah, he was looking in your guys' general direction.
I don't know. I remember saving someone's life.
Yeah, I mean, I was attacked.
Right.
I only act in self-defense.
Uh-huh.
If someone is cursed with grumpiness. Right.
Curses.
Can I insight check Varian?
Oh no.
Sure. Varian, give me a deception roll if you want to oppose this. I'm pretty sure it's deception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got no boost on this.
You guys.
Too good.
Oh, that's great.
You know, I guess you believe him.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Just barely believes him.
Guardian, as you've continued towards this direction, the figures you see, at least like 3 peel off from the main group, it seems, and move towards you. And as they move towards you, they're not running, they're moving, pretty cautiously, kind of normal speed. Through the haze, you can make out 3 orcs. And they are carrying spears. They've got what looks like some crude swords at their belts. And one of them...
I will use my my item that I have. The what is it called? My orc stone. And summon my own orc war chief.
Okay. Before you do that, let me tell you this. This is an important detail. One of them, I'd say the guy in the center, he's got a spear, but on the spear there's a flag, and the flag that's blowing in the breeze, you can just make this out, Wargar. The flag it's got a humanoid skull, and it's pierced by 3 arrows. And you've seen that symbol before. In fact, the orc that you saved was wearing that symbol. I don't know if that affects your decision, but I just want to tell you beforehand.
Okay, yeah, I won't use the stone, but I will pull it out. Yeah, it's the symbol of the. I'll tell Guardian that is the many arrows tribe. I have the symbol that I was given because I helped save some of them on my way to up north.
Okay, and I'm just gonna reach back and grab Guardian, and I'm just gonna shove him forward. Like, you can talk. I've talked enough for the last few days.
But I don't speak. Okay. And in common, Rorgar will say, "Hello, friends. It is good to see you."
And you notice, Rogar, the orcs are taking sort of a flanking position to sort of encircle you a little bit. Nothing overtly aggressive yet, but they do have their hands on their spears, and they've kind of exchanging glances with the guy in the center. And this is sort of a squat orc. He's actually not very tall, considering how tall orcs get. He's missing most of his teeth. He's only got one of the fangs that extends on the bottom. He kind of looks around at the other 2, and he says, "Oh, who you be?"
Friend, my name is Rorgar. I am a paladin in service to Bahamut. And what is your name?
My name is
That is a very strong name. I like it. What is it that you are doing out here in these barren wastes?
Where you get stone? He points to the stone you're carrying.
I actually was given this by a member of your tribe because I helped saved his life.
No story. You wait here. Wait here. And it starts walking back to the main group.
Seems like they've heard of me. I am a very popular guy.
And some time passes, and comes back with a very large orc. And this orc carries the air of authority about him. He is armed, of course, but he looks like he's wearing pieces of armor and stuff and the mini furs that he's wearing, as everyone does here in Icewind Dale. But as Ugg leads him back to you, this guy doesn't really even miss a beat, and he walks up to you, Rorgar, gives you a giant hug, and he picks you up and puts you back down, and you recognize he puts you down, like the hood, the furs he's wearing kind of blows back. And this is Grunpush, the orc that you saved.
Ah, friend, it is good to see that you are in good health.
And this close, you can actually smell Grunpush because he, just gave you a big hug. He smells terrible, like pretty much as you would expect. Orcs don't really ever bathe, it seems, and their hygiene leaves a lot to be desired.
I'm so glad I don't breathe.
In fact, Laja, probably from your distance, which is back pretty far, you get a giant whiff of disgusting orc.
What smelled worse, Doug and friend or this orc?
Ooh, probably Doug and friend, I would say, but this guy doesn't smell great either. Oh, hello, friend. Hello. Good to see you. What brings you out here?
Well, we are actually on a journey to a place called Battlehammer Hold.
Oh, I know that place.
Is it a place to be afraid of?
We are leaving the Dwarven Valley. It is no longer safe there. I am leading my tribe further south.
That's a good idea. I wish we could do the same, but we are on a mission. And when you're put on a mission by a god, you have to do it.
I understand. My god commands me to pillage and plunder.
And that can be fun sometimes. This mission comes from a god that I don't even pray to, but I can't say no.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh yes, and Guardian, he's not even gonna be quiet and try to whisper, hide this. Yes, Sylvanus came to me in a dream, and told me I had to do this, and actually offered to reverse whatever happened to me. And
not you. I'm talking about him. Pillage and plunder, and you're heading south?
Oh, I kind of blew right past that, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Yes.
There's a town called East Haven that has a lot of loot that you can take from it. But there's a place called Goodmead, and he's going to point in his dreadful direction. That's under my care. You will avoid that place.
Grumsh always instructs us to pillage and plunder. Grunpush sometimes wants to pillage and vacation. Maybe go on a nice beach. Have a nice drink. But always must pillage and plunder.
Not Goodmead.
Friend, I know you gave me this symbol as a token of our friendship. What if I gave it back to you, and in return you stayed away from that town, Goodmead?
We will stay away from Goodmead if you say. If you are going to the Dwarven Valley, you will need this stone.
Yes, I kind of was hoping you wouldn't take it, because it's gotten me out of 1 or 2 gems already.
Are you heading to the what do they call it? The Battlehammer Hold.
Yes, we're We're on our way there now, and hopefully we'll make it there before it gets dark.
The fires of the forge of the Dwarven Kingdom have been burning for weeks. Long was it quiet, but there is something they have been building. Dark things are around that fortress.
When you say they, who are you referring to?
Small, dark dwarves that come from down below.
Oh, I think I've heard of them in stories for small children back home in Neverwinter. Never seen one before myself.
They use small, what is word? And he's pointing at Guardian. They use small, that.
What?
Small like that.
Guardian's a man, as far as I know. I don't know what he looks like. He never takes the helmet off.
They use small ones that look like that to capture people, and we never see them again.
Capture people? Huh.
Hmm.
Not sound like good individuals.
Question for you, Grunbush. Does your god allow you to be hired for work?
Grumsh, no. Specify. As long as we pillage and plunder.
Does he give any specificity to pillage and plunder? Is there an outline, a guideline, an exact example he's given, or is it just vague? Like all gods and their fucking advice.
Kind of shrugs. Pillage is pillage. Plunder is plunder.
Well then, I have a proposition for you. I will hire you and your people to keep watch over Goodmead. You will be paid in gold by me. You keep them safe. You can pillage and plunder anyone who attempts them harm. And in turn, you'll also get some food that they can spare. They have a nice little mead hall. Good stew. You get warm food, you get gold, and you get to fight any enemies that may threaten this town.
You just said sometimes you get allowed a vacation in the... This sounds like a vacation for you, actually. Goodmead has a very good, mead.
Grunbush likes your offer. Can we go now? The night of the Ice Queen is upon us.
Yes, send one person to the town with just saying, I know the speaker guardian. Just have them say that, and then have them let them know that you are there to help at my request.
Go to town, say, I know the teacher's guardian.
Speaker.
Okay. I will send Ung. If he is killed, no one will be sad.
Okay.
Really, he seemed like a very interesting person when I met him.
He is the smart one in the tribe. We don't have really good place for him.
Yeah, fair enough.
They should let you know of any other ones helping to protect their town. But, yes, how does 20 gold sound?
I like gold.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll give you 5 gold now, and when we come back to the town, I'll give you the rest later to ensure that you've done the job properly.
Question. Can we dismember anyone that we find hurting this town?
Oh, yes. I would encourage you to do so. Anyone that threatens to kill anyone of my town of Goodmead, threatens their home, their people, even their way of living. Dismember them and barricade their bodies into the ground. Parade them around if you want.
And it doesn't have to just be a person. It could be like a monster or some sort of like winged creature with fangs.
I will say, though, there is a Verbeeg and an ogre and a bear and a dragon named Suzanne. They are friends of the town. They are friendly, they're good. You either work with them or you just leave them alone. But if there's anyone from East Haven saying they're coming to claim a bounty, simply just parade their heads on pikes.
We will not attack Dragon. Dragon killed Grumpush's father. Dragon also killed Grumpush's grandfather. And Grumpush's great-grandfather. Grumpush will probably be killed by a dragon also.
Hey, but you were saved by Dragonborn, so that's a thing.
Fate is strange that way.
Things are turning around for you, I think, Grumpush.
I'm gonna give him 5 gold as down payment.
And as you hand him the gold, he gets very excited. Grumpush likes gold.
Well, if you do a good job and you don't pillage and plunder Goodmead, you will get more.
Well, since I like you, he kind of points to you, Rogar, and you, I tell you more about the dwarf place. One of my men, well, I had to kill him because he talked too much, but he said that something was taking people to the dwarven place. And he's kind of struggling with the words here. And he said that the dwarves were eating brains.
Just gonna look back at Laja.
What did he tell you? What kind of dwarves these were? What they look like?
Oh, they look very different than you. And he points to you, Elijah. They short, dark skin. They have white hair. All dressed in black armor, black weapons. They really buy into whole black montage.
Okay. We'll have to be careful to avoid them.
For most orcs, if brain is eaten, not too much of a big deal. But you seem very smart, friend Morgar.
People say that about me, yes.
Sorry, something was in my throat.
He is a person. Not sure what you were trying to say.
We will try to find shelter for the night. Not good to be open in the open plains, friend Rogar. It is a wild night, the night of the Ice Queen.
Well, good meat. As long as you guys are able to talk things out, let them know I sent you. I'm sure they'll find a spot for you to stay warm at night, or at least huddle together. Goodmead sacrifices heat for Frosty Tits, whatever her name is.
Is this town with the bees?
Yes. You're to protect the bees too.
Funny they don't all go together in big house because bees generate temperature of 95 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit at the core of hive. Grumpush knows quite a bit about bees.
I was just thinking that too. Why don't they all huddle in one building? Even like people have enough. We could talk for hours about how we could help them, but we're gonna go to Battlehammer Hold here.
Yes.
Let's move quickly.
Guardian, do you have any personal item you could give Grumpush that would help make it easy for them?
I gave him 5 gold. That's a personal item.
I mean, like like piece of armor or a hand.
I don't.
Has anyone seen your signature? I don't know.
I don't wear armor.
It
Well,
looks like you're wearing armor.
it's more part of me.
I also sometimes think of this as part of me as well. I understand.
Oh, was I given something as a speaker?
I
Was I
don't
given
think
like a
so.
key or like
Mm.
some medal or emblem?
You know, they would have given you a key to the speaker's house, but that's about it.
But no, like oh, here's like a sheriff badge type thing, but it's like the symbol of the speaker.
I'll let you make it up, whatever you think, what they would have given you.
Sure, it's just a it's a B token I got. It's a
I love the idea.
Yeah.
I bet it
I
would be
love the
something
idea of it
like
as like a sheriff's badge that just says speaker. That just sounds so dumb that it would be amazing.
I love it. Okay, that's the thing, Guardian. You've got just a little sheriff's badge that says speaker.
I was gonna say it looks like this because like like they had a contest a few years ago, and so they got this kid to the kids drew in, and so they had someone like cast.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Definitely.
Nick just made it.
Definitely.
The beaker. That's it. That's it. I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll give them that there. I was like, yeah, let them know it's from Guardian. Let them know the agreement that you will protect Goodmead, everyone in the buildings, and you will work with Doug and Friend and Suzanne if she's there. They will fill you in. Just let them know that I have hired you.
Yes, we'll do, and we'll dismember anyone who hurts town.
Yes, they have to be a clear threat, though. They can't just be people walking up saying, hey, we want to go to Goodmead. They have to be like, oh, we're going to burn Goodmead down. They have to be a threat.
Grumpush will ask them if they mean to burn the town down before he dismembers.
Yes, if they say, no, we're not going to burn it down, we're just simply looking for a place to stay, you leave them alone.
I think at this Rogar will put out his arm for like the like forearm handshake thing that people do in fantasy movies.
Zach will explain details for what you can and can't do, okay?
Zach. Okay, we'll look for Zach. Not dismember Zach, right?
Zach is friend.
Zach is
Anyone
friend.
in Goodmead is friend. He will just tell him to tell you the rules.
And he returns the forearm clasp. Grunpush does. We'll definitely go protect town, talk to Zach, and dismember enemies.
Good
Yes.
luck, Grumpush. When this is over, hopefully everything works out, and I will be buying you and the tribe many drinks in Goodmead.
Very good. If, friend Wargar, if you lose your brain in Dwarven Fortress, still return back to town. Tribe may have place for you. Many of my warriors know how brain.
That sounds like a great place to go if I lose brain, so I'm in.
And with that, he kind of turns very satisfied. And he shouts something to the other orcs, and they turn and continue on their journey.
I really hope I just didn't screw over my town. Why am I saying my town? Oh, my... Let's go.
Guardian, that worked out wonderfully. I don't know why you worry. If that was not destined to happen, Bahamut would not have allowed it.
Right. Because Bahamut controls everything.
honestly, I'm not too worried about Goodmead. I'm a little bit worried about Battlehammer Hold and the Duragar there, but
I'm worried about it because we just sent a bunch of orcs down there to protect them. And their definition of protection seems loose. Granted, I didn't help by telling them to parade down any bodies of enemies of the town.
We very quickly leaned into that, didn't we?
No, there's no we. That was just all me.
well,
That's how I kept the bandits away from my own little town.
I think we should probably head on our way so we make it there before the moon rises.
Yes, let's go. Come on, old timer.
Rorgar looks around at that, and then remembers, oh, it's him.
And as you all continue, a few hours in, you notice you've kind of descended downward. The path continues to the snow, following the directions that you guys got from Torga. You slowly find your way entering the valley, which is called the Dwarven Valley for a good reason. And once you've entered the valley, the darkness gets even further here. Not much light is actually reaching down, and the walkways, the pathways, kind of skirt around the perimeter of the valley walls, and you see it becomes very treacherous as you're making your way through. Following the directions that Torga gave you, the pathway that you're on slowly gets narrower and narrower, and then you turn a corner, and you see. You see that. It's obviously the fortress that you're heading to. It's very obviously dwarven made, carved from the stone of the valley itself. And what you can tell is it's probably 3 levels, and the path that you're on continues to wind up to probably the 2nd level of the keep. You can tell that there are arrow slits around pretty much all of the levels of the keep, and there are lights burning behind them, and there's clanking sounds very loudly echoing from this place through the valley. The staircase, or the path that you're on, leads into a staircase that skirts up the rock and leads up to the side of the wall and to the 2nd level of the keep. You are all very aware that as you head up this pathway along the outside of the valley to the keep, that you are very exposed.
Well, friends, what should we do? I have to admit, stealth is not quite my strong suit.
But stealth can be your strong suit, Rorgar.
Well, his plate makes it a little difficult for him. Oh!
Virion is going to cast Pass Without Trace on everybody in the party. I think
Awesome.
I can cast it on everybody, right?
Yep.
It says
Yeah.
within 30 feet of
Thank
you,
you.
so if you all just stick close.
This is exactly what we needed with all our disadvantage.
Strange, I don't feel any more quiet, but if you say so.
Alright. Well, let's test this out.
As you
And,
make your
Karen,
as you make your way up the walkway, it gets narrower and narrower to the point to where it's only about 5 feet across as you're walking up. So you really have to crowd very close to each other. And just to the right of you as you're walking up, you see it's a sheer drop down to the bottom of the valley to the point to where you really can't even see the bottom. You're that far up and it's so dark. So it's a very precarious walk up the icy ledge.
well, Guardians first.
Moving to this map, and I do apologize. This is one of those Wizards of the Coast maps that is super, super small scale.
Wow, really is.
Oh, jeez.
Super small. I think we're going to put Guardian first.
Are we doing stealth rolls?
Not yet. I think you're good. We will go with that's going to give you a plus 10 bonus for your stealth check. I think that's fine for now.
Alright.
So as you've moved east from the top of the stairs, they've led you to the entrance of the fortress. It's a 10-foot high double door featureless stone, and there's an arrow slit facing your direction. But these doors are very tall. They're probably about 15 feet tall. They're 2 doors you can tell that would open into the keep. but from the outside where you are, they pretty much form a solid block of stone. There's no handle or anything to press on. There's no ornamentation. You don't even see any hinges. This is very typical Dwarven design, very difficult to break in. Like there's really nothing to leverage. And in fact, if you had like a battering ram, you'd have nowhere really to start from, because just behind you, Guardian, a few feet, there's the edge of the cliff.
Do we at a glance see anyone behind that arrow slit?
You don't, but it's very difficult to see. It is not only very narrow from your side, so of course the arrow slit opens up on the inside, because that's the point, to give them a better angle of fire, but it's also a little elevated, so you can't really see. It gives the person that might be there an angle down on you, but then also an angle up from you, so you can't see into it very well. But you do see lights. That's all.
I'll show what I could do, but I don't want to go in there by myself. If it's dangerous in there.
I want to maybe examine the area where the door is and see if there might be some sort of mechanism to help us open it. Because I don't want to send Rorgar in by himself.
I'd say with your Dwarven knowledge, this is a pretty standard design logic that you've kind of seen replicated in Dwarven fortresses everywhere. It was all the rage a few years ago. There is definitely a mechanism behind it that would open the doors, and they open inward. I'm sorry, they open actually outward towards you. The design is so that if someone were ever pressing on the door, they'd actually be pressing it further into the frame. So there is a mechanism to open it outward that's definitely inside.
I think if you were able to make your way inside, there would be a way to open it from in there. But if you're not comfortable going in, then we can find some other way in.
Or I'm just bringing up the spell and roll 20 in case I miss something.
And Guardian, you hear a sound from the arrow slit. Hello? Hello? Is someone there?
Yes.
I knew I heard you. I can't see you. What are you?
I am Guardian. Do I hear that he's from the slit here?
Yeah, it sounds like it's from the arrow slit.
Just get right up next to it. How high is it up from off the ground before the slit's visible?
For you, the slit, I'd say the bottom of the slit is probably at shoulder height for you.
Okay, yeah, so I can peek in then.
You peek in and you see it looks like a Dorgar who's kind of leaning around the edge of the arrow slit. You can't really see into the room that he's in, but you can kind of just make out to the side. Looks like it's like somebody standing there. I am Drick. Who are you?
I am Guardian.
And he catches sight of you. He says, what? Who is controlling you?
Controlling me. Clarify.
The king's crown does not control you?
No.
I heard a female voice. Who else is with you?
He just slowly looks around. She
Hi.
is too short for you to see.
He's also not leaning over into the arrow slit to really see. He's sort of cowering on the other side of this corner.
May we come in?
What is your business here?
Just Looks at everyone.
Maybe we're traders from Goodmead. Maybe we tried to sell ale. Rorgar tried to whisper to Guardian.
We are here to take cover. It is going to be nightfall soon.
Oh yeah, that's probably a better. That is probably better story.
I hail from the town of Goodmead. We are seeking cover from the nightfall right now. As you know, it is the new moon.
Are you here to kill the king?
Did you ask for someone to come and kill the king?
Are you are you trustworthy?
I am the speaker of Goodmead, apparently.
The king's plan is almost ready. He intends to go through with it tonight. There are many of us here who are uncertain, who doubt, who would back Grandalfa, but the king, the master commands the king, and the king has definitely lost his mind.
Then, if you're requiring aid, we can render some.
Who is this? Who is this master you speak of? Sorry, my name is Rorgar. You can't see me because I am standing back from the wall. But
How about we ask the questions if we can get inside?
I will open the door. It is likely the others will hear. You must make your way past them and come to me, and we may talk further.
Very well.
And he looks to you, Laja, and he says, "Ugh, a dwarven female. You will want to stand back. The door will open and push you off the cliff."
I'll take a couple steps back.
One moment. And he walks away into the shadows. And a second passes, and then there's the grinding of, it sounds like the grinding of gears. And then the two stone doors swing outward, revealing a portcullis that is dropped immediately behind it, but the portcullis begins to lift up. You all notice that this is actually making a lot of noise.
Well, I'll go first.
Okay. Are you continuing your stealth, Virion?
Yes.
You're passed without trace. So beyond the portcullis, this room is empty. There's a narrow opening at the far end, and there's an additional arrow slit on the western wall.
GM, can I move in?
Yeah, you can. It's pretty tight for you, Guardian, and you notice as you make your way in, a few things. First of all, the ceiling here is about 15 feet high. It's pretty warm inside as you just step through the entryway, and there's also a haze of smoke that fills the air that makes it very difficult to see. And Laj, as you begin to enter this haze, this smoke, you kind of cough a little bit. The air quality in this place is not very good, but with the door open, you can all hear the sound. It sounds like a ringing sound, gears turning, and also what really sounds like several hammers beating on something in the distance.
Gonna go here.
Virion, since you're the one running the show here, why don't you give me a stealth check, and we're going to add your bonus for pass without trace.
Okay.
That would be a 33, which is more than enough. Guardian, as you move in, you see through the arrow slit, which is now lower because this room that you're in, the floor is closer to the arrow slit. You see there is a Durgar. It's a female. She has a crossbow. She doesn't even notice you as you've walked through. Apparently, Virion's spell is cloaking you completely from her gaze. As you walk in, she kind of looks past you, doesn't see you, and then just kind of looks behind in the room. She's conversing with someone. You hear lots of voices behind her, but she doesn't notice you at all.
So she's no longer looking in this room while she's talking to her buddy?
She's kind of glancing back and forth, casually. She's obviously having a conversation. This is probably her job, like manning this arrow slit. So she's looking kind of casually back and forth, but not in a way that would indicate that she's actually seen you.
I'm gonna time it with her gaze when she looks away for that brief second. Bloop. I'm just gonna
Okay.
hold up a finger to everyone just to like, shh.
What are they generally talking about? Is it anything that would be threatening to us that we should take note of?
So they are speaking in Dwarven, and Laja, what you overhear is a conversation about releasing the machine. That's what they keep talking about. Tonight's the night to release the machine, and one of them is talking about how the master will feed on them. That's kind of where the general conversation is going. They're laughing about the destruction the machine will inflict.
Okay, good to know. I will follow Guardian's lead and sneak over whenever I get the chance.
I'd say with the Pass Without Trace spell going and with Virian's stealth roll, it's very easy for all of you to make your way past this Durgar's gaze.
Alright. Scoot up in here and take a peek.
As you look around outside of the room, Guardian, this hallway that you're in extends very far, actually, to the point to where you can't see where it ends. This smoky haze that you're in does reduce visibility. So the hallway, in fact, that you're in, and then also the room that you just came from, is very lightly lit with torches. Laja, you realize this is because the primary occupants here are probably the Dorgars, who have dark vision and can see very well in the dark. This is probably just more a luxury for them to have the lights. So they don't necessarily need it, but it's kind of created dim conditions.
Gonna slowly make my way towards I'm thinking is gonna be that dude.
Let's see, Guardian, you notice behind you is a set of double doors that are closed, and then down from where you're standing is that room where you saw, or what's most likely where Drek was.
Yeah, I'll head on in.
And when you walk in, you see Drek. He's kind of cowering in the corner. He's a very small Dorgar. He's carrying a crossbow. What's noteworthy about the room that he's in is this box that's over to the side. Looks to be some kind of lift. And it's not being controlled by anybody. It's kind of running on automatic. And what it does is it pauses at this moment for a minute, and then it goes up to the floor above. And then, Virian, you can peer over and see all the way down. There's a level below this. And then when it does, it pauses for a minute at the top level, then it moves down to this level, waits for a minute, and then moves down. So it's kind of like on an endless cycle, going up and down, pausing for a minute at each level.
Witchcraft.
I am making sure that Elijah and Rogar are with us.
Drek, as you enter, he seems very, very nervous, and he takes a step back, Guardian. He says, you say that you are friendly, yes? You are from Goodmead.
Yes.
Well, technically, friend, I am from Neverwinter, but this is semantics, I guess.
Well, if you would, I will make you a deal. If you are here to kill the king, I will introduce you to Grandalfa. She is the leader of the resistance here.
What is the machine?
The machine is the work of the king. He plans to release it on the 10 towns tonight. It is quite terrifying. It's a monstrosity that we have been working tirelessly on for weeks.
You
And
said
if we...
You said a master was commanding the king. Who is this master?
And when you ask this question, Drek's gaze kind of drops even further, and you can noticeably tell how nervous he is. The master pulled us from the Underdark. The master is... we dare not cross the master. But with the work done, if the king were to die, then perhaps the master would let us go back down below.
Does this master have a name?
Yes, we call him the Master.
Fair.
Good name.
I am simply called Guardian. Even though that's a title.
And he looks to you, Elijah. Do you have a controller that allows you to command this one? He points to you, Guardian.
No, he is just another person. He does his own thing. Nobody controls him.
So he must be like the chained one.
The chained one.
When we came to this place months ago from the Underdark on the will of the Master, it was full of things like you, and he pointed to you, Guardian. Much smaller, though, except for one. We have melted most of them and used them to create the machine. Of course, the chained one. No, we would not harm that one. But no, besides that one, they all required the controller of the king in order to have action. Even the chain one, I believe, is still controlled by the king. I've not seen one independent like you.
Nothing's like I am me, and that's it.
I've answered your questions. If you will promise that you are here to kill a king, I will introduce you to Grandalfa. And she will help you formulate a plan.
I am missing a head.
Oh, I don't understand. Drek, I've done what I've said. You said that you were friendly. You don't need my head.
No, I'm talking about your king.
He is not my king. He's the old dwarf king.
I'm talking about a king, then. We're gonna kill something. Whatever you were telling us it is. Good? Yes?
Yes. I recommend that you don't try to stop the master.
And if we do this for you, kill this king, would you help us find an item that we are looking for here in Battlehammer Hold?
What item?
We are looking for a map.
What you seek is most likely in the king's treasure room.
So it's on the way. We have a map that was roughly drawn, right?
Yes, it should lead our way there.
Drek, can you point where on this crudely drawn map, or if you could fill it in, for where this chained one is at?
Very easily. This lift, he points to the lift that Varian's next to, will take you down near the throne room. That is where the chain one usually is. That could be a way to go. You'd have to go through the forge. Well, I suppose if you're going to the treasure room, you must go through the forge in any case. But the other, and he looks at your map, you have directions to the other lift down the hall that will take you close to the room of the master. I would not go that way.
So this lift here is the safer option.
Yes. He says that very hesitantly.
Insight check?
Sure, go for it. Yeah, you got nothing?
That sounds good to me.
So, wait, you're saying out of character, the treasure room is on the way to meet this person that's the leader of the resistance?
No, he's actually saying that he hasn't really told you how to get to that person yet. He was giving you sort of directions to how to get to the treasure room, and there's 2 paths, and in all cases you'd have to go down to the lower level, and he's saying there's 2 lifts to get you there. The lift here in the room that you're in takes one way that might be easier to go, near this chain one that he's talked about. He doesn't, of course, Guardian failed his insight check, so he doesn't really know exactly what Drek's trying to communicate with his reluctancy, but he did say that there's another lift that might take you closer, but would take you near the master, and he says to not go that way. But he hasn't said where to meet this Grand Alpha yet.
Can I make a insight check as well?
Sure. I would say with your insight check, Rogar, what you're picking up from Drek, especially when he's talking about the master, is fear. Definitely fear. He's radiating fear when he's talking about this thing. Whatever it is, he's terrified of it.
Got it. So stay away from this master. Seems easy enough.
Oh, right. That orc said that they were being taking people and eating their brains. Who's doing that?
The master has a appetite. We give we don't ask questions of the master. The master has an appetite, and some, I believe the machine, when it is done, he will feast on the survivors of the towns. But perhaps let us return to the Underdark back home.
Okay, well, let's go and not have our brains eaten.
Let's avoid this master for now and get what we came here for.
Grandalfa is trying to lead a resistance to overthrow the king. She has had difficulty because most of us are too afraid of the master to even think of going against his will. But we all believe, well, some of us believe, that if the king is dead, that our mission here will be, well, irrelevant, and we can return home.
Don't be afraid, friend. You now have the powers of Thorn and Bahamut on your side.
Do you intend to kill the king?
I feel like that was what... Guardian, is that what? Virian, is that? Laja?
Yes, I'm gonna rip his head off of his body and carry it around on my side just like I did with the druid until it gets moldy.
Oh. Well, okay, good. Well, some things you should know is you'll have to go through the forge room. And that is where the machine is, and where most likely the king is. I believe the treasure room that you are hoping to reach will require the gauntlet of the king. That will be difficult to acquire.
Well,
So if you
I have
are
the head of the king, the gauntlet should be a piece of cake.
if you're thinking to sneak past the king, further incentive to aid the Duergar is if you kill the king, you can take his gauntlet and use that to open the treasure room. He seems kind of pleased with himself now that he's made that connection, and he says, yes, if you kill the king, then you'll have the gauntlet to open the room, and you can get what you want.
Drek,
Straightforward to me.
you were simply just saying things we're already going to do. We are going to kill this king.
Good. Also, if you are captured by the master and he eats your brains, please scream loud enough for me to hear so I will know to flee.
I do not scream in pain.
In fact, I might tell him, Drek sent us.
Direct, he looks even shocked. You can't do that. You can't do that.
It is a bad joke.
Yes, maybe you should then have incentive to make sure we don't get captured.
Yes,
Okay, this lift goes down.
it does.
Step.
When he steps on it, how sturdy does it look?
It's very sturdy. In fact, they probably use it to transport stuff as well as, people up and down.
I think Rorgar will wait to step onto it until Laja does, hoping that Laja has some sort of insight into all of this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use the lift. It's gonna be all casual.
Okay, then Rorgar will step on.
You moved my token very fast.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
couldn't
where the hell
understand
did
why
Lusha
everything
go?
went dark.
Sorry, this is a ginormous map.
It is very large.
Oh, it's down there.
There we go.
Didn't he say he was going to lead us to his friend?
He said if he
Yeah,
wanted to
after.
go to his friend, but when you talked about killing the king, he just kind of said, go this way.
And he said,
I'm assuming that he just like wrote it on our little map.
I assumed he meant we'd see her after. And
But following this lift down, so the elevator shaft terminates in this room. There's a large stone wheel next to the iron cage that's turning constantly, obviously working a mechanism to keep this lift going, which probably extends all the way up to the top of the keep. But you're down at the bottom level. And in fact, this low down, the ceiling extends quite high. It's probably about 30 feet up, to the point to where with the smoky haze, you really can't even see the ceiling. The room is still pretty darkly lit. There's a door to the west here. It's like a stone door. But as you've descended down further, the clanging is louder, substantially louder.
Laja,
Yes.
what would happen, in your opinion, if something were to happen to this, gear?
We I think it'll probably be okay for the most part.
But this lift wouldn't move and
Nope.
reinforcements
We
wouldn't
might
come
need
down?
to-
There is a second lift though.
Yes, but we won't have to worry about this one too much.
Pretty much.
Varian, stand aside. GM,
Hi.
how sturdy does that look?
Oh, very sturdy.
Gonna walk around it first quick second just to find any way to gum up the works, as it were.
It's probably about 30 feet in diameter. Just the wheel part itself. There's also multiple cogs and pulleys and stuff and chains that are built off of this. So it's a very complicated system because it's kind of constantly running up and down, pausing. So it's got a little bit of more mechanical stuff going on than just simply going up and down. If you wanted to break it, you could shove something like a metal object in between some of the cogs to try to jam up something that way. That would do it.
Varian will hand his crowbar over to Guardian.
The crowbar.
Yes, this will work. And yeah, just put a crowbar in one of the smaller gears that seem to be interconnecting to the larger ones, increasing its revolution.
Why don't you roll me a percentile dice? Just one.
What's that dice?
Just a D100.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? $55.
Okay. So you throw the crowbar into the system, and the gears, like one of the small gears, catches on the crowbar and twists it, kind of snaps it down to one of the larger cogs, and the whole system just kind of grinds back and forth. And what it's doing is like the lift was starting on its way back up, and it just sort of stops probably like 20 feet off the floor from the current level you're at now, but it doesn't continue. But it seems as though the system it's not broken. It's like kind of going back a little bit and then going forward. It's almost like you've paused it here. You haven't broken it.
Ah, this is good. This is good. Let's continue forth now.
The only way out of this room besides the lift is the door that you're kind of next to, Guardian.
We'll slowly push it open.
Standing in this room are 2 Durgar. They were making a joke or something, because as the door opens, they're laughing. Not at you, because they turn to see you and they all both kind of jump back surprised. They're 2 Durgar males. They're wearing kind of like black chainmail. They have swords at their belts, but they weren't drawn actually. And they kind of both jump backwards at the sight of the door opening, but they don't draw their weapons. They're just kind of standing there stunned.
If I was pushing the door open, I'd just step on through. Actually, I can't move my token anymore.
Oh, really?
Rorgar will.
I'm disconnected from Roll20. What the fuck?
Roll20's been doing weird things tonight.
That was refreshing.
Rorgar will speak up. Are you friends of Drek?
Yeah. Drek's my brother. My name is Tuck.
Nice to meet you and your friend.
This is my twin brother, Guck.
Tuck and Guck.
Tuck and Gruck
What?
and Druck.
We are here to help. Druck showed us the way down.
They kind of lean closer to each other and they whisper. And Tuck leans up and he says, "Are you here to kill the king?"
I'm gonna nod.
Oh, good. The king is in the forge.
You didn't see us. We will try to keep things quiet.
And Guck says, "I didn't see what."
Exactly.
You are a classic.
I'm just gonna walk around. look
And
at the
Tuck
next
says,
door.
Wait, friend, wait.
Okay.
Beyond this door is the chained. Are you prepared for that?
Yes. By the way, is there a code word or a phrase you guys say? Because if I didn't have that brief moment of what's it called, Varian brain fart? Yes, I was going to kill both of you. But we now are on the same side. Is there something I can say to someone else of your stature and that they know we're friends?
Tuck, wasn't that a phrase we decided at the last club meeting? I can't remember. I wasn't really paying attention.
That's bad, because if I come across any of your friends that want the same thing you do and we don't have a way to let them know, we might end up murdering them.
And we just have to simply say we are friends of Drek and Guck and Tuck, and we will just keep adding names to that list as we go. We are all friends here.
The last password was mushrooms taste better boiled.
Empirically not correct.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. You might want to go into that other room and just sit there while we deal with...
Hey, the lift broke again.
Yeah, leave it like that for now. Just sit in that room.
Oh. Well, we're gonna get in trouble, that's for sure. Well, they're not eating my brains. You don't really have any brains.
It is very rude to say to a friend.
A brother.
I mean, if
even.
you're brothers, then, sometimes you make fun of each other.
I really need to kill something right now. Opening the door.
Okay.
Stepping on in. Oh, Lasha, you're underneath me, sorry.
All right.
I know
so
you moved on top of
I
my
was
token.
wondering where Lajo went.
I was there that entire time. Guardian's just looming above.
So the ceiling of this hall reaches up to, again, about 30 feet, and there's stone steps that lead up to a semicircular raising against the south wall. Now atop this there is a throne that's crudely carved out of like a black crystal. And there's small crackling flames burning in small sconces around the room. But what immediately catches your attention as you walk in is not really so much the throne, it's the thing standing in front of it. And to describe it briefly, it looks sort of like an alternate version of Guardian. It's about as tall as you, Guardian. However, the armor that it's made out of it's like a dull black. It looks just like that statue of Oral that you guys saw in East Haven, so it's probably made out of that black charlatan. But this guy, he's kind of leaning on a great sword, very much like you do, Guardian, with your hammer. Also, what's very notable is there's a chain wrapped around his right arm, and it's hard to tell how long this chain is because it kind of makes several loops around his arm and goes all the way up to his shoulder. And there's a small amount of smoke coming off of this chain, and several of the links look like they're actually smoldering in like red hot. And he's just kind of standing there facing away from the throne room, so kind of facing to the north as you guys open this door and enter in.
Dump.
Is there, and other than that, it's a completely empty room?
Yeah, from what you can tell.
So there's... Does opening the door makes a noise, correct?
Yeah.
Is there any reaction from this chained when we do that?
He turns to all of you, particularly to you, Guardian. He raises his sword and he lets out a scream. And wouldn't you know it, we need to do some initiative here.
Do I roll twice at this level? Or is it the next level I roll twice? I have to sign into everything again. Damn you, Windows Update.
I rolled really well.
Tyrion would like to donate some initiative to Rorgar.
Rorgar's just, I guess, focused on Tuck and Guck.
They seem like good guys.
I think we're going to start here with Virian. So Virian, from where you're standing, it looks like the chain is probably focused on Guardian.
Would I have a line of sight on the chain from where I am? Like those doors open, that would probably be kind of obstructed from here, right?
They're double doors. Let me get the ruler and see.
It is next level. I just have 40 movement now, though.
Yeah, you have line of sight. You do.
All right. I guess from here, Virian is just gonna draw back with his longbow and try and get a little headshot on this chained fella.
A 20 hits.
Great. That'll be 9. And then I will run my second attack, another shot with the longbow.
A 16 doesn't hit. And in fact, what happens is your arrow strikes the armor of this thing, and the arrow shatters.
Ooh, okay. But on that first attack, my penguin swarm will jump out and start gnawing at the very fine shin bones of this chained.
I don't know if I've asked this before, but do they like come from you, or do they just apparate out of the ground?
I think because they're not like material, they're more like not ethereal. Yeah, I guess ethereal would be right. So they just kind of like come from wherever. They're more of an essence. So I imagine them like just shooting out of the ground with a bunch of like ice shards, and then they just lose their minds.
In my head, I always pictured like ice formed around their feet and cracked open to like reveal water that wasn't really there, but then they just kind of jump out of it.
I like that a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, with that, I love it.
And I want to say what I always imagined was Virian just opens his backpack and a penguin jumps out somehow. It's just endless penguins.
There's no wrong way to imagine the penguins.
It's just a penguin from Zootopia.
So the penguins swarm the chain and they kind of tear at his armor. And unfortunately, one of the penguins moves a little bit slowly and the chain lifts a boot and crashes down on one of the spirit penguins. And it, like with a little eek, and it disappears into the nether.
I hated that.
Poor penguin.
I don't know if this is too inside baseball, but does it appear like the arrow did full damage?
The arrow, it struck his armor, did not pierce it. Like when it hit the armor of the chain, it just fractured into splinters.
Oh god, it made a juggernaut sound effect from Call of Duty. No one here plays Call. Okay.
I'm not good enough to get the like kill streak stuff, so
Varian, I think you could still take a move if you wanted to.
I think at this point, Virian's just gonna stay where he is.
Okay.
you have to protect those two beautiful twins.
Yes. At the same time, I'm shouting back, "This is your brother. You got to treat each other with respect. You only have maybe 5 or 6 of you in this world together. I don't know how many children your parents had together, but there seems to be a lot of you just in this one little area, and you're all working together. So I assume there's a lot."
And Guk says, I never thought of that before. That's very beautiful. Tuck, I'm sorry. And then we move on to the chained. So a lot of things happen with the chained all at once. So he looks at you, Guardian, he lets out a roar, and you've made this sound before whenever you've raged. And that's probably what's happening with this guy. And as he rages behind his helm, his eyes glow like there's a red light from behind them, and they glow like brightly red. He lifts his great sword and he charges towards you. And as he does that, he lifts his right arm, and the chain kind of pops off of, or at least the part that's wrapped around his wrist pops off, and there's a weight on the end. It's like a spiked weight, and he swings it over his head as he takes a step towards you, and he swings it at you.
This is gonna hurt.
He swings it twice.
This is really gonna hurt. That's a hit.
At 25, yeah. A 14?
That's a miss.
Okay, so I need you to first make a DC 17 strike check for me. Yeah, so you are grappled. So what happens is this chain, as it strikes you, first of all, it does 4 slashing damage and 4 fire damage. But what happens is the chain, as it hits you, it wraps around your waist. And it's really hard to tell how long this chain is actually, because, you know, a part of it's come off his wrist. It's obviously magical, but it wraps around you, and you feel the fire of this chain as it's like tightened around you, and the spike that was on the end sticks into your armor.
Okay.
That's the chain. That takes you to Elijah.
Okay, I'm going to take out my holy symbol and I'm going to cast Aura of Vitality around me. And then I will use my bonus action to heal Guardian up a little bit. Why not?
Some of my
So
wood has
that'll
been
be
burned.
11. You're fine.
I am fine. Woo. More than fine. Oops.
And I'll move up a little bit, but I'm not going to go like towards him. I'm going to go over here.
That is an incredible spell.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Guardian,
easy.
moving to your turn. First of all, before you do anything,
Mm-hmm.
you take 9 fire damage from this chain that's burning wrapped around you. And what's happened is you feel your body get warmer and warmer, and some of the leaves and like the branches that have formed on your armor start to smolder and catch on like small flames.
Oh. Now that's making me angry. So in response to that, I am going to rage. So his roar, was it like the bear roar I've always made before? Because I've tied it
Yep.
to my bear totem.
It was similar. I don't want to say it's exactly the same, but his actions and the way he's moving feels like the way you move. You kind of
Alright.
see a mirror in the way that he's acting.
Just gonna. As I rage, I'm like, you cheap knockoff! And, Mike, so what's happening with me being grappled? What's that all do for me again?
So you're grappled, which basically means you can't move more than 10 feet away from him. You can try to break the grapple again if you'd like. That's an action, though, and that's just another strength check. While
you
you're
can still take your turn. Your just speed is reduced to 0.
with this chain, though, he can move. He just can't move more than 10 feet away. This is a little different. Like, he's not, this thing isn't like grabbing you. It's this chain that's restricting you.
But my attacks are just fine?
Yeah, your attacks are fine.
Cool. I'm going to reckless strike attack.
Wait a minute. I'm
both
sorry.
my
Before I
attacks.
said that, let me double check. I think grappled, you might actually have disadvantage. Sorry. Nope. You're fine. No difference there. Yep.
First small strike.
21 will hit.
18 damage. And then as my extra attack, hooray! Reckless on that too. 17?
17 will not hit.
Wow.
You know what? Because I don't like this guy. Inspiration. Gonna do that roll again.
I think inspiration's only going to give you one more d20.
That's what I'm just rolling. That's a crit.
That'll hit. Yeah.
Very inspiring.
So is that max damage then?
That means you roll
double
your
damage.
damage and then you multiply it by 2.
Okay, so I'll just click the roll button.
32? 16 times 2?
Yeah, 32 damage. No, the rage isn't counted part of that. The rage is its own thing.
Okay, so 30.
Yeah.
So you've hit
Nice.
him very solidly with your maul both times, but you've noticed that much like you when you're raging, he's shrugging off a lot of this damage as you hit him. You still have done substantial amount of damage to him, but this would normally have failed like most creatures. But like you, he seems to be extra resilient.
I imagine I'm just going for like one of his legs, just constantly whacking it. Gonna get him in his trick knee.
You could try to move away if you wanted to, but again, you can't move more than 10 feet.
Oh no, I'm happy here.
Okay, it takes us to Vorgar.
Rorgar's going to move to the other side of him. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And am I flanking him from here?
Oh, you are.
So I'll make my 2 attacks with advantage.
You have advantage anyway because of the way he reckless attacked on Guardian.
I didn't want to assume.
Oh, I wouldn't have done reckless in my stuff then. It's fine though.
A 12 will not hit.
Okay, and the second one.
A 25 will hit.
So close. So I will hit him for normal damage, but Rorgar will also put a first level Divine Smite into this. So 10 slashing damage plus, I believe it's 2d8 radiant. So 7 points of radiant damage on top of that.
Rorgar, when you go to strike him with your axe, like your axe just hits his armor and there's a clunk. And you were expecting, especially with the weight on this blow, to really hit this thing with some force. And it just is very disappointing. Your smite does, the radiant damage, it courses over the armor, but it then doesn't really even mar it very much.
And I think that's it for Rorgar's turn.
I think that takes us back to Virion.
Okay, so just because I want to make sure, because some people do things differently, bonus action, can that be used before an attack, or does it have to be after the attack?
I'd let it. You could do that whenever.
Okay, so to start off, Virion is going to cast Hunter's Mark on the chained to get an extra 1d6 damage on any hits. And then he is going to pull back his bow. And would this be with advantage as well?
Yes, because his
Okay.
reckless attack. Yeah,
Perfect. So first shot with the bow.
27 hits.
Perfect. And that would be 6 damage on that one. And he will knock another arrow with his longbow
22 hits.
for another 5 damage. And the penguins, after seeing one of their tiny little beak buddies go down, they're going to swarm with all of the ferocity that they can muster for full damage.
Did you add your Hunter's Mark damage?
I did not, and that is on
2d6 extra because you did
That's on
it.
both, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Did the arrows I make for Varian do anything extra?
They don't. I'll just say the second arrow that he hit the chain with, the first attack, the one that splintered. I'll just say it's not one of your arrows, but the arrows that you made aren't magical or anything to do extra stuff.
Alright, I just wasn't sure. I thought I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't see it. So it must have done nothing.
They're just nicely decorated.
Yeah.
We don't want those to break. They're cool.
No.
They're designer arrows, you know, they've got like your mark on them and everything.
What kind of damage did the penguin swarm do?
Hang on. I have it written down.
Probably force.
Yeah, I think it's just yeah, blunt force.
It would be really funny because this is also how you get around like barbarian totem resistance, but if they did psychic damage, that would be important to know.
I'm gonna go and double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's just
The terror of their attack.
I just want to imagine the penguins using psychic damage. Force is already funny enough, but
Psychic penguins.
unfortunately, it doesn't even say on the page that I had bookmarked. But we can circle back to that later.
So, Varian, you do a pretty substantial amount of damage, but again, the arrows, as they strike the chain, they don't seem to do the kind of damage you would expect. Like one of the arrows, that it strikes him near the chain that's wrapped around his arm, and the chain, like, it catches the arrow on fire, and it just burns and smolders very quickly. And the penguins, again, swarm the chain, and like he maybe twists to the side and throws one of the penguins towards Guardian.
This bastard.
So
And
question, is also the chain stuck to me by 10 feet?
He is currently. The length of that chain is magical, obviously.
Hmm.
But yeah, he is stuck to you currently. Yeah, you're attached to him by being grappled.
You think you've grappled me?
Little do you know, I've grappled you.
Let's see. First of all, what he does is he moves backwards, I'd say like right here, so that he doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity with you, Orgar. But when he does that, Guardian, he actually drags you with him by the chain. He drags you back further into the room, and he turns to you, Wargar, and he kind of turns his head towards you, and like bolts of lightning radiate from out of his eyes at you. And you are wearing metal armor, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. 23 and a 9.
The 9 misses.
Okay, so you take 10 points of lightning damage. And that takes
Never
us,
going to let me use Sentinel, are you?
See, if I get sent, I have to take Sentinel later, but there's a build where I will punish the shit out of anyone for attacking anyone other than me.
Yeah, that's the plan, but
sorry.
It's a totem.
But it takes us to Laja.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to cast Scorching Ray on him. So let's see how that goes. 10 will probably not do it.
A 10 does not work.
That's the first one. There are 3 of them. So
Ooh.
26 will hit.
26 is a little better than a 27.
Crit will hit,
Oh,
sure.
better. There we go.
I
And then I'm gonna bonus action hero Rogar. Because why not?
I'm so sorry to do this to you, Laja, but the fire from Scorching Ray, when it hits him, he just shakes it off and it does no apparent damage to him at
so
all.
rude.
And it's apparent that
That's
he is immune
legendary.
to fire damage.
Well, we have learned
Look.
things today.
it looked cool.
Oh, look, very cool. I imagine it's like a ball of flame from this Scorching Ray, and he's like catching on fire, and then he just kind of brushes it off, and it disappears.
He shrugs at us, which just makes us angrier.
But Guardian, you take 9 burning damage from this chain that's wrapped around you.
4. Because I'm raging. Okay. Has he reckless?
No, he did not reckless attack this time. He didn't need to because Rogar is wearing metal armor.
Oh, but I can move within of half my speed, right? So 20 feet,
You can only move 10 feet away from him, but you can move.
20 around him.
Yeah, you could do that.
'Kay.
It's basically
Advantage.
you moving with a chain wrapped around you. You're
Yeah.
tethered to him.
I'm just doing the intimidating thing. I'm just like flipping my maul around in my hand, like by the shaft, and spinning it as I'm walking to get advantage with Rogar. So advantage without reckless strike, so I'm not granting advantage back. Cheat, be nice. There you go. Maul 1.
Crit will hit, sure.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, that's still good.
26.
I can't math.
Wait, that's 22, 24.
And then second attack 20.
20 will hit.
Additional 14. I'm just working on that one leg. I'm just going ham on that.
You have been putting dents in his armor over this whole period of time. Again, these are blows that would normally take down most things that you've encountered before, but he's still standing.
That's okay.
But that moves us to you, Rogar.
I think all I have in my bag of tricks for this guy is to just keep hitting him. So I'll make 2 attacks.
Uh, 13, because I don't. Oh, you have advantage because of Guardian. Yeah, 21. 21 hits. Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything special with these attacks.
Okay. An 8 will not hit.
I'm a little jumpy from the lightning. That's what causes the miss.
I'm assuming you're going to stay where you are?
Yeah, Rogar will sit tight and hope for the best.
Takes us to you, Varian.
Virian's just gonna keep hucking arrows. Oh, and that's a crit.
A crit will hit, yeah.
So 13. And then he will knock another arrow.
You don't need to, but A 24 will hit.
Oh, okay. For another 11.
Okay. So what happens is, as your first arrow hits, I'd say with a crit, it probably goes into one of the eye sockets in the helmet. And then the creature kind of stumbles forward. The chain does. He stumbles forward a little bit. The chain actually releases itself from around your waist, Guardian, and it falls to the floor. It doesn't like coil back up on his arm or anything. And then he explodes. And he does 10 fire damage to everyone, just Rogar and Guardian. Laja, you're just outside of it. And Laja, I'd say like some dust kind of pelts you a little bit. But Rogar and Guardian, you take 10 fire damage as he explodes. And it's not only the fire and the force from that, but also the shards of this metal that he's made out of as he just goes to bits.
Well, with rage, I take 5.
I also have a couple more rounds left of my Aura of Vitality. So
Poop.
I probably would have given you guys each a top up before it runs out. I think there's like 3 rounds left or something.
And that takes us out of combat. But what's interesting, Guardian, is you notice as he explodes, he's exploded into almost dust. But what falls to the floor is that chain that was wrapped around his arm.
I'll go over and pick it up.
And when you pick it up, the chain, which arm were you going to pick it up with? That's important.
Guardian's right-handed, so that will be his small hand. He'll pick it up with his left hand.
Okay, he picks it up with his left hand. And here I will make this available to everyone. But basically what's happened, Guardian, as you pick this thing up, this chain coils around your left hand, much as it did with the chain before, and you can't really tell how long it is exactly, but it's pretty much stuck on your right arm, starting at your wrist, your forearm, and going all the way up to your shoulder.
Look at it for a second, like, neat.
Oh, that's amazing. Cool wristband, Guardian.
Burn a bit of my wood.
You do immediately realize the curse, Guardian. It's just like a pressure on the back of your mind. It's not like with Virion, where Virion had to do something to discover it. You're aware of it immediately. You have kind of a burning hatred towards Celestials, which we've never even encountered one of those before. But if you ever do, I'll let you know.
Well, that's actually kind of fit for Guy because he's already said fuck the gods a few times.
Yeah. The thing about this chain, though, is it does have a reach of 10 feet. So it's a flail, but you can attack with it 10 feet. And just like he did like with you before, is you can actually grapple up to 10 feet away too with it. But that's the infernal chain. But ahead of you, at the end of this room, you see 3 doors. There's double doors like in the center, and then 2 small doors that are flanking it.
Oh, I have to attune to it. Is attunement a time-taking thing?
You know, I kind of don't even do attunement. I just let you guys have it right away.
Okay.
I've never really agreed much with that 5th edition rule. So I think you have, unless you didn't want to attune to it, like if you had the desire to get rid of it. But I think if you want to keep it, you can use it immediately.
Yeah, I was wondering if we're like taking a break inside here, because I was just gonna look at Barry like, hey, we're the same club.
The moment you touched it, you could feel the anger of the chain or whoever made this before carry over into you you didn't even really pick it up so much as you touched it and it wrapped around you. But yeah, as it's around you, it's doing the same thing. It's letting off some smoke around your arm, and then also some of the links are smoldering, catching on like some of the leaves and the vines that you have on fire a little bit.
Oh, I whack it. I'm like, stop that. Just look at it for a second.
And Guk says, I think you killed him. He blew up.
Yes.
Cheap imitation of something that he didn't know what the hell he was. Piece of shit.
Do you know which door leads to the forge?
Well, the little door. How many? Who's back there today, Tuck? And Tuck says, those two doors lead to the arrow rooms. You see, we got guys there with arrow slits waiting for you to walk in, and they're gonna shoot you. But the big doors that leads to the mine, which connects to the forge.
Okay, so this way is the way we need to go then.
Well, I think if we open that door, the people with the arrows will be waiting for us.
Oh yeah, that's the idea. When they see you, they're gonna shoot you.
Do they like mushrooms boiled?
Oh, I can't remember who's on duty today. Was it Reginald? I don't know.
And friends, where does this other door lead to?
Oh, that's the storage closet.
Do you keep anything interesting in that storage closet?
We keep our brooms and, miscellaneous cleaning equipment. Like to keep a clean forge. If you
Well, it
like,
looks
you
like-
can take a broom, clean up as you go. You made a mess of our throne room. It's got all sorts of shards and dirt in it. Gotta clean that now. You can do your part.
Is there an actual throne here?
Yeah, so you see those little steps that are kind of at the bottom of the map? That's a throne. Like that leads up to a black throne. Yeah.
I
This is a
take a
throne room.
close look at the throne to see if there's anything odd about it.
So that sense that you've done before, the name of it just completely left my brain. Where you detect if something's evil or not. I will give this one to you for free. The metal this throne is made out of is that same metal that you encounter when you're in East Haven. They build that statue out of, and you guys have learned through various ways throughout the story that this metal, this material, it causes madness over time. It's a mineral that's found here in Icewind Dale. And it's, at least the metal's called charlin, and if it's black, like this throne is, like the chain was, it, amongst many things, it's able to be magically enchanted easy, but it does tend to cause madness, and it looks like this throne is made out of it.
Okay, Rorgar will share that with everyone.
As fun as it would be to sit on it, you probably don't want to do that.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no evidence, though, that maybe the king left behind that controlling crown or anything, like accidentally.
No, don't think he did.
Darn. Other than this seat causing madness in men, nothing really out of the ordinary.
Let's just go forward and try to be quiet about it.
I think the loud explosion has taken any subtlety of our approach away.
I mean, they could always think that it might be related to the lift breaking.
Hmm.
Lots of things are going wrong here today.
Hey, twins, is there any other way into this forge?
Well, I guess if you went to the other lift, the one that's on the other side, you could go from, the eastern side of the forge. But then that, the monster might eat your brains. That could happen.
So I guess we have to choose our poison here. A team of trained archers or some sort of brain-eating master?
What you're gonna want to do is you walk through these doors, past the arrow slits that are gonna shoot you, and if you survive that, you're gonna be in a small room, you see, and then you're gonna take a right, and then Turk goes, no, they're gonna take a left, no, they're gonna take a right. God, he's never good with directions. You're gonna take a right, and then you're gonna be in the forge. But then you're going to get killed because there's lots of things in there that are going to kill you.
I really don't want to go back up the lift that we broke and down the other one to go around. I think we should just go through.
You know,
Alright,
Tuck, I
sounds
think I
good.
like her.
If nobody's going to answer, I'm going to open the door.
I keep looking at my spells in my character sheet to see if there's anything I can do.
Oh, Guardian Toad sounds good.
Let's see how this goes.
And immediately, Elijah, as you open the door, you can see it looks like a gauntlet almost. There are arrow slits down this narrow passageway, and it's basically designed to just be a death hallway, pretty much. I think at this point, if no one's going to do anything to stop it, really, we are going to need to do some initiative.
Can't get in around these. They're just all slits.
They're all slits all the way to the end of the hallway.
That means the wall's weak. Cannot wait for a
That's a
double
good roll.
initiatives.
Solid roll.
Wow, Rogar, wow.
A 2 and then a 1.
Okay, so it looks like the first Durgar, which one is this? This is the guy on the right here. So what he's going to do is he sees you, Laja, walk through the door, so he's going to line up a shot with his crossbow.
Yep, I'm going to, hold my shield and hope it works.
Let's see. It says, I don't know if you're going to see it, it's going to say javelin, but it's not. It's a crossbow. How's a 20?
Yeah, that'll hit.
Then that is 5 piercing damage.
Could be worse.
And then we move on to Virion.
Okay, these arrow slits are very, very narrow, and we probably can't attack through them, right?
That is correct. If you were standing like right next to, I'm sure you can see their tokens, but they are, they're like right here and right here. So the way it's designed is they have an angle on attack on you guys, but you don't have an angle attack on them unless you're standing next to them, and then probably make it a disadvantage because the opening is so small.
Right. Okay, I guess Virion is just gonna sprint to the other set of doors with his movement, and I don't even know what else he could do. That's about it, because an action's going to be needed to open the door, attempt to open the doors, I would guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think an action would just push the doors open.
Yeah. Oh wait, so that's just his movement, right? So yeah, Virion will use his action to push the doors open.
Okay, one moment here. Oh, ignore that. Oops.
It looks like a fireball or something.
Virion explodes. It's the clues to select the doors in Roll20 sometimes. So Virion, what you see, give me a sec. It's not great. So what you see here is there are like 4 Dorgars. They're pulling something from a hallway that's near the north. You can't really see very well. It's a large creature, and they've got like ropes around it as they're pulling it in, and they haven't exactly noticed you yet as you throw the doors open.
Jesus. Would has it been an hour? Would my pass without a trace have worn off at this point?
I think
I
because
think
your
as you
hunter's
cast
mark,
Hunter's Mark.
hunter's mark needed concentration, you would have lost it.
Oh, right, okay. Then I guess. Ooh. Yeah, Virian's just gonna. I'll call it I'll call that my move right there.
Yeah, regard the DC for the grapple, or just know that the DC for the grapple is just an opposed athletics check. If you're raging, you have advantage because it's a strength-based check.
Oh, you said strength check, so I didn't even do my athletics. It's fine, it worked out.
Let me double check if grapple is athletics.
I'm just trying to figure out what my. Okay, that beefy. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up in a minute. I can't forget if it's just strength or if it's athletics. But with the chained, I try to make it simple and just do a strength check.
All right. Yeah, I'm just filling out build.
But I think that takes us to you, Laja.
Okay, I am going to try to move up quickly. And I'm not going to go through the door, but I'm just going to move up and prepare myself, I suppose.
And you see Laja, very similar to what Virian did. You don't have a good angle to see all 4 of the Dorgars, but you see 3 of them pulling this thing down this corridor, and you can tell there's a rope leading to obviously a 4th one off to the side.
Exciting.
What were these doors? Were we ever told what these doors were?
Those doors actually lead to the rooms that these guys are in.
But were we told that?
Guck told you,
Yeah.
yeah. He said these doors lead to the
Oh.
rooms with the guys that are going to be shooting at you when you walk in the hallway.
You know, sometimes we think things through and sometimes we just do things. It's fine.
Guck was very matter of fact about what you were walking into. So, Laja, are you going to leave your action or?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything.
All right.
I guess I can dodge action.
Okay,
I'm
dodge.
gonna walk back out. 1, 2, 3.
Probably the best move.
Guardian is the smartest one here.
I just watch everyone get pelted. Like, okay.
So, Guardian, what you do
Oh.
notice is in this room, there's that door you came through is the only way out. But
That's
yeah,
fine.
you see a Dorgar with a crossbow. He's not really paying attention to you. He's trying to take another shot at maybe Laja or Virian.
Oh, is this a surprise attack?
I wouldn't say it's a surprise attack. He's just not. He's just doesn't. He wasn't expecting you to come through, but it's not to the point where it's a surprise attack. He still has his ability to dodge.
I'm just gonna hit him with a maul in the back of the head, try and pin him against that slit.
Okay.
Reckless.
Are you raging, or are you just doing a reckless attack?
Just fine. Just a reckless.
Okay. 22 will hit.
10. And you know what? I'm gonna just let go of the grip with my left hand, and I'm gonna have that chain go out. Reckless on that too.
Okay.
Ooh, work. I assume a 12.
Yeah,
is a
12
miss.
not gonna hit.
Okay. It's already failed me. Not good.
And I think that, luckily enough, is this the guy that's standing right next to you, Guardian? He is going to turn his crossbow on you and fire, but I think he's going to do so at, let's see, he did reckless attack. I was going to give him disadvantage because he's in melee, but with reckless, that'll just make it a single, just normal attack.
I know in 4E attacking range and melee is an opportunity attack. Is this an opportunity attack by chance?
I think you have to have a talent for that.
Okay.
How's a 13?
Miss.
Yeah, so maybe in his panic, he takes a shot and it just goes wild. Or it goes wide. Takes us to Rorgar.
Rorgar will charge through the door on the other side. And he will attack this Dwargar twice.
Uh, 21 will do it. And a 17 works. He also looks quite surprised. You've heavily wounded him, Rorgar. And taking us to his turn, he is going to turn to you. He actually takes an action where he drops his crossbow and he grows substantially in size. He goes from a medium-sized creature to a large-sized creature.
Rorgar gets all the fun ones.
I think they could all do this.
And then he draws. Let me see what weapons he's got. For next time, he draws like a pick that was on his back. But
how tight is this room for him?
It's pretty tight. He's not going to be able to move much at all. Like he's not going to be able to move past you or anything like that. But that takes us to Virion.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Is Virion able to slide his sword through the arrow slit that he's standing right beside in Rorgar's room?
Yeah, I would say since this guy has enlarged himself, he has also made himself targetable by you. Your sword or your arrows, I think you could attack him from here.
All right. I'm going to say that Virion just kind of gently puts his sword through the arrow slit and just kind of wildly stabs through it and to see if he can get a piece of him at all.
I think in this guy's case, because he made himself larger, I won't make it disadvantage. I just make it a normal roll to attack him.
Oh, okay, cool.
21 will work.
Perfect. And that's 8 slashing, and then he'll do another poke through with the moonblade.
Oh, what about the penguins?
Oh, the penguins are coming. I guess the 10 won't hit, right?
Yeah, 10 won't hit.
Okay, so the penguins will shoot out. I think they'll come from the walls and just start pecking at his. I assume he has muscular shoulders now, so that's what they'll go after.
I think he went all Incredible Hulk here when he did the size grow.
He looks ripped.
But the penguins actually murder him as they surround him and attack him from all angles. He lets go of a scream and he falls in front of you, Rorgar, as just a swarm of penguins cover him, tearing him to pieces.
What the? Holy potatoes. Friend, that is disgusting and disturbing.
I believe that takes us to Lasha.
Okay. Well, I'm going to. I don't want to use too many spells, but here I am. I'm going to. I'm gonna cast on. I'm gonna move out a little bit so that I can see everybody who's in that room, and then I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on. Let me see how many people I can fit in there. 20-foot cube.
So let me roll some checks here. So just those 3.
I'm gonna do the further ones.
Those 4. Okay.
Yeah, those were.
Let's see a dex.
Against 15.
The first one, the guy in the corner, definitely fails. The guy on the end passes. The Durgar on the bottom fails. And the large creature, which is an Umber Hulk, no surprise there because the label underneath it says so. He passes.
Okay.
So what
that's
you got?
better than nothing.
Yeah, you got 2 of them. The 2 guys on the ends here.
I'll take it, and I will move out of the way, I suppose, towards this direction.
So before we move on to Guardian, what happens, Laja, is as you cast Fairy Fire on these 2 guys, they are very shocked and they drop their ropes. And what happens is the Umber Hulk here, he jumps at one of them, let's say this guy, and tears him to pieces.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Because he's a shiny thing right in front of him. That takes us to Guardian.
Just looking at his left arm for a second. Figure this out. Reckless attack with the infernal chain.
Okay. 26 will certainly hit.
Okay, 10 bludgeoning, 1 fire, and then he'll just do it again.
Are you raging still?
No.
Okay.
17.
That will hit. And that kills the guy. As you go and slap him with your chain, I think the impact from the chain also hits him and he catches on fire and he falls to the ground dead.
I got myself a nice crispy snack. Is what you guys hear from his room. And let's walk back in.
So Rorgar, we'll leave it. You'll have the last turn for tonight, and then we'll pick up fresh next time.
Well, that's exciting because I believe my turn is going to be spent just getting into the other room.
Okay.
There's no other way out of this other than the door I came in, right?
That's correct. To get to the arrow slits, you'd have to be able to. You could do like a misty step and do that because you can see, but that's the only other way apart from the door.
So I'll use the movement. I'll use all my movement and my action to get to here.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, I'll yell, mushrooms taste better boiled, don't they?
I'll say one of the door guard, the one that did not get the fairy fire, he looks up and he says, "Yeah, they do taste better boiled." And then the Umber Hulk leans over and bites his head off.
Oh no!
Oh, painful.